Hello everyone and welcome to Retail Archaeology. Today we'll be taking a look at a couple of abandoned fast food restaurants, and if you haven't figured it out from this shot here and the title of the video, we'll be taking a look at some KFC locations, or Kentucky Fried Chicken as it used to be known. Over the last couple of years, I've noticed more and more KFC locations going empty, and there's also quite a few that I drive by that I look at and say to myself, hey, that used to be a KFC, but now it's a Filiberto's or some local mom and pop restaurant. This particular location's been empty for a few years now, and it used to be fenced off. It was just recently that the fence was removed and I could get a closer look at it. And when we look through the window, it looks like it's been completely gutted inside, so somebody could easily move in here and start up some sort of other restaurant. It's just really interesting to me that it's sat empty for this long when it's in a fairly decent location. Measured by sales, KFC is the second largest restaurant chain in the world, right behind McDonald's. I was surprised when I found that out. I always kind of assumed McDonald's was number one, but KFC being number two was really surprising to me, especially as, like I noted, just from, evidence that I've seen traveling around to different states and in my own local area, I see a lot of empty KFCs. So I did a quick Google News search just to see if I could find any articles about KFC stores closing across the country, and while I didn't find anything at a national level, I did find lots of articles from little towns all over the United States about their KFCs closing, or in some cases all of the KFCs in the town closing, and I'll kind of post some of those headlines here so you can see them and see what I'm talking about. So it's interesting, if you'll notice too, most of the dates on these are well before the COVID stuff was going on, so it can't be attributed to that either. I have to wonder if the fencing around this location has been removed because there may be possibly another restaurant that's getting ready to move in. The last time I was over here and it was still fenced off, there was even some graffiti that I'll show a picture of here that's since been cleaned up as well. I saw this signage here and I thought I was going to be able to see when this location closed, but it looks like this notice has been hanging here for so long that the sun has completely bleached the ink away. I can kind of see imprints on where it was written on, but not well enough to actually see what was written. KFC is currently owned by Yum Brands, and that's also the company that owns Pizza Hut and Taco Bell as well. I decided I should probably look and see how Yum Brands itself has been doing, and as you can see from this chart, their revenue has been declining since 2019, so there are obviously some issues going on. You'll also notice that their largest chunk of revenue comes from their KFC division, but you'll also notice that since 2014, the KFC division has seen the largest drops in revenue, and they're down a little over $1 billion from 2014. And it looks like somebody was stashing some stuff here from the demolition that they did. Those look like the big red can lights that would have been hanging inside the restaurant. It's kind of funny to see those sitting there in the back. Now let's take a look at the drive-thru. And this one I find kind of interesting because this is a really big covered drive-thru, which is really great in the Phoenix area. It looks like they were expecting to have long lines of cars here. I'm really surprised to see these drive-thru signs in as good a shape as they are. A lot of times when I check out abandoned fast food places, these are usually all banged up and destroyed and stripped for copper. Again, this was fenced off for a long time too, but a lot of times that doesn't even work as a deterrent from that. I was trying to look and see if the monitor was actually still inside the housing here. I couldn't tell though. There's too much glare and reflection from the sun. Yeah, I mean, this stuff's all in such good shape that somebody could easily move in here and open up something. See what I mean about this big covered drive-thru though? You don't see coverings over a lot of drive-thrus like this. And I think that's actually really great in Arizona. Take another look inside here through the drive-thru window. And yeah, it looks like it's been totally gutted. I'm guessing that door back there goes to the kitchen. I'm not sure what kind of shape that's in. You can see across the street there's a large shopping center anchored by a Safeway grocery store. I have to wonder if this KFC would have survived if it was over there across the street, because there's really nothing near this one as far as shopping goes. It's got a daycare center on one side and some sort of other business on the other side. I'm not really quite sure what they do, but it's not retail. Now that I know KFC's revenue has been in decline since 2014, I think that's why I'm starting to see more and more empty locations. I just think it hasn't been big, large closures. They're just kind of slowly closing unprofitable stores as they need to, which I think makes it really easier for chains like KFC to kind of survive and pull themselves out of declining revenue situations. Now that sign says do not enter, but we're going to do something I've never done before, which is drive through the wrong way just because we can, and I thought it was silly. Taking a ride through here in Mark's car. But let's go head on over and look at our second KFC location. So first, let's take a look at some photos that I took maybe about a year or so ago. This is when we were filming for the Family Dollar episode, and we noticed this really beat up and vandalized empty KFC next door to it, so I just want to snap a couple of pictures. But you can see this location's in much worse shape than the last one that we looked at. Looks like somebody threw a brick or tried to throw a brick through the window there. But I decided I should go ahead and revisit this location again and see what it looks like now. It looks like most of the windows have been boarded up now, so they must have all been smashed at this point. Now, looking at this location, this may have been something else in between being a KFC and when it closed, and the reason I say that is because the color of the building, I'm not seeing any of the red KFC accents or anything. But you'll see when we get closer to the door, you can see KFC logos and stuff like that. Take a peek inside here over the boards, and you can see this location hasn't been gutted, but it's in pretty banged up shape. But yeah, you can see over here on the doors the KFC signage. It looks like maybe it was like painted over and then people have scraped the paint off. So like I said, this may have been something else at one point. I also think those chains on the doors are new, so it looks like somebody must have, you know, knocked out the locks or something and they've had to resort to chaining the doors shut. And you can see all those spots where they've painted over graffiti. Now over here in the dumpster area, we were going to go take a look at that, but then I heard people in there and we kind of took a peek in. You can't really see great here, but there's tents and stuff, so it looks like there's some homeless people camping out here. We decided it would be a good idea not to bother them and just kind of keep our distance and finish up filming the building. And it's too bad this was locked up. Mark and I were joking about how cool it would have been to be able to get up on the roof real quick and take a look at things from up there. You can see the Family Dollar there over in the distance. That's the one of the stores that we filmed for our video. And that looks like it's maybe one of the sinks or something from the bathrooms that's been smashed in there. Now over here in the corner, there's kind of another sad sight. It looks like this little alcove is kind of blocked off from the main street. And when we look, we can see some bottles of water. It looks like maybe some day-old donuts from the grocery store nearby, and a spoon, unfortunately. I have had some people complain lately when I show this kind of stuff in videos that I'm exploiting homeless people, and that's really not the case. I think it's important to show this kind of stuff because, as you can see, it's kind of hidden in alcoves, and I think people just kind of forget that it exists. And it's really terrible when you look at people having to live like that. And when we were filming this, it was like 114 degrees. Meanwhile, there's this empty building here that's a complete waste. How many people could be housed in an apartment building of affordable housing, you know, built on this land? When you look at buildings like this, you realize just how wasteful we've been just building commercial real estate nonstop when it's not needed, when what we really should be doing is trying to prevent people from having to live like this. It'll be interesting to watch KFC over the next few years and see how they do and see if they recover. If not, we may be seeing more and more locations like this. What are your thoughts on KFC? I'd love to know down in the comments below. As always, everyone, thanks for watching. Want to see your name here? Head on over to patreon.com/retailarchaeology to find out how you can help support the channel. Hey everyone, thanks for checking out my video on exploring some abandoned KFC locations. If you enjoyed it, make sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons, and also make sure to follow at the social media links down there because that's the best way to keep up with what's going on with the channel.